my son. Why me, Mama? But you said she was dead.
It is for the future. I wanted him to have a better future.
My mother sold my only child to my rich aunt and lied to me that he was dead. Now I have discovered the truth and I have taken my rich aunt to court. But with the twisted justice system, will I get justice? In the crowded streets of Ajegule, Amaka Eze carried grief like a second skin. 10 years had passed, but the pain had only learned to hide behind her tired eyes. She was only 20 when she gave birth to her baby boy, Chinedu, God leads. For 2 weeks, he was her world until everything fell apart. That morning, Mama Ngozi burst into her room. "The baby, something is wrong," she said. Amaka rushed to him. He lay still, cold, silent. "No," she whispered, panic slicing through her. "Give him to me." But her mother pulled him away. "It is finished. God has taken him." Amaka screamed, her voice echoing through the compound, but no one came. She begged to see him, to hold him again, but Mama Ngozi refused. "It is better you don't see him like that. Let him go in peace." Without a funeral, without a grave, Chinedu disappeared. Years passed. Men came and went. None stayed. Friends urged her to move on, but Amaka knew deep inside something was wrong. A whisper lingered. "You didn't see him. You didn't bury him." Then, one day, a visitor walked into her life, and everything she believed came into question. Who was this woman? Why did she appear after all these years? And what did she know about Chinedu that Amaka didn't? The shop door opened and Amaka froze. A well-dressed woman stepped in, her presence shifting the energy in the room. She wore expensive lace, gold jewelry, and a perfume that spoke of wealth. "Auntie Chioma," Amaka said slowly. Chioma, her mother's younger sister, smiled. "You have grown, my dear." Amaka wiped her hands nervously. "What brings you here?" "I came to see you," Chioma replied smoothly. "Can't I visit my niece?" Something felt wrong. Auntie Chioma never visited without a reason. After awkward pleasantries, Chioma leaned closer. "I saw a boy yesterday." Amaka frowned. "What kind of talk is that?" "A boy, about 10 years old, tall, fair. He has your eyes." Amaka's heart skipped. "No, don't start. He lives in Lekki. He goes to one of the best schools. He answers to the name David." Amaka laughed nervously. "There are many children in Lekki. Why tell me this?" Chioma's smile faded. "Because he is your son." The world tilted. Amaka staggered back, gripping the table. "That is not true. My son is dead." "I am not joking," Chioma said slowly. "Your mother gave your baby away to me." Amaka's chest tightened. What are you saying?" Chioma's voice was calm, almost cold. "Your mother gave him to me willingly." Amaka's knees buckled. "No. Why? Why would she do that?" "Because you were poor, sick, alone. She believed you could not take care of him. I had just gotten married. I couldn't have children then. It was convenient." "Convenient?" Amaka echoed, her voice shaking. "You stole my child." "I didn't steal him," Chioma snapped. "Your mother gave him to me willingly." Amaka felt her world shatter. "He thinks you are his mother. He knows nothing about you." Amaka's tears fell. "I want to see him. Please, take me to him." Chioma shook her head. "That is not possible. He hates women like you." Amaka's heart froze. "Hates me? Why?" "Because he has been raised to believe his real mother abandoned him. Worthless, irresponsible." Amaka felt something inside her die. "No, and if you come near him," Chioma added, standing, "you will only destroy the life he knows." Amaka's hands trembled. "He is my son. You cannot keep him from me." Chioma's eyes hardened. "Try it. Let's see if the law will agree with you." Then she walked out. Amaka sat frozen, tears streaming when her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. A picture of a boy in a school uniform, smiling confidently in front of a massive house. "This is your son, but he will never be yours again." Amaka's scream tore through the shop. Could it really be him? How could her son be alive after all these years? And who had sent that message? Amaka's hands trembled as she stared at the photo on her phone. The boy, her son, smiled confidently, unaware that the woman he had been taught to hate was his real mother. Every part of her ached. 10 years of mourning, 10 years of emptiness, now shattered by a bitter truth. Chinedu, now called David, was alive. She knew she couldn't fight this alone. Ifeoma insisted they seek legal advice immediately. By noon, they were at a busy law office in Yaba. Papers stacked high, phones ringing, clerks moving briskly. The law felt like a battlefield. Barrister Kule Afolabi, a stern man with a reputation for taking impossible cases, listened carefully. "Let me get this straight," he said, adjusting his glasses. "Your mother told you your child died. Then your aunt raised him as her own, and now you want him back." "Yes," Amaka said firmly. "He is my son. I need him. I have a right to him." Kunle frowned. "This is not simple. The child has been with her for 10 years. Courts consider the child's welfare above all. You are asking them to rip him from the only home he knows." "I don't care. I need him. I need to tell him the truth." Kunle sighed but nodded. "We'll prepare the case, but be ready. This will be grueling." The first court session was brutal. Amaka had to prove her mother's betrayal, the illegal handover, and that David was her biological son. Medical records were missing. Mama Ngozi refused to testify. Kioma's lawyers painted Amaka as a desperate woman trying to steal a child she had abandoned. Amaka sat outside the courthouse, sobbing silently. Ifeoma whispered encouragements she barely heard. Then, an unexpected twist. A DNA test confirmed Amaka's claim. The law was finally on her side. But there was another battle looming, far more difficult. David didn't know her. He had grown up believing she had abandoned him. The moment he learnt the truth, he met her with rage, confusion, and deep hatred. The day she first saw him in the judge's chamber, David's eyes were icy. "Who are you? Why are you here? I don't need you." Amaka felt her heart shatter. 10 years, and her child didn't recognize her love? "I am your mother, David," she whispered. He recoiled. "Lies! You abandoned me! You are just like Mama Ngozi said." The judge's order gave her temporary supervised visits. Kioma retained custody. Amaka left the courthouse feeling hollow, her fight only just beginning. Who would survive this emotional war? The mother or the lies David had been fed for a decade? Could truth ever pierce a heart filled with anger? Weeks passed. Amaka visited David at his school, desperate to bridge the impossible gap between them. Each visit was met with coldness, sharp words, or outright anger. "You are not my mother," David spat one afternoon, shoving her hand away. "Go away before I call security." Amaka's heart shattered, but she refused to give up. She spent hours outside the school gates, watching him, hoping for even a glimpse of connection. Then came betrayal from the one person she had trusted most. "I need to tell you something," Ifeoma said one evening, her voice trembling. Amaka's stomach sank. "What is it?" "I've been talking to Auntie Chioma," Ifeoma admitted, tears in her eyes. Amaka froze. "What? Why?" "She offered me money," Ifeoma whispered. "If I help her keep David away from you, she promised to solve my debts and give me a share in her business." Amaka felt the world crumble beneath her. The friend who had stood beside her for a decade had been bought. "You betrayed me?" Amaka whispered, disbelief and pain cutting through her. "I didn't want to, but I didn't know how else to survive," Ifeoma said. Amaka clenched her fists. Rage, grief, and hopelessness collided in her chest. She wanted to scream, strike, run, but she couldn't. David's life, her son, was at stake. The next court date arrived. Amaka entered, her heart pounding, only to freeze. David was there, and behind him, Ifeoma, smiling politely, holding an envelope. Her lawyer whispered, "That is Chioma's latest move." Amaka opened it. Inside were pictures, David crying during her secret visits, moments she had hoped would build a bond. The words written inside made her blood run cold. This woman is dangerous. Keep him away at all costs. Amaka realized the terrifying truth. Her son's hatred, her friend's betrayal, and Chioma's manipulation were all aligned against her. Could she still reach David? Or had everyone she loved turned into her enemy? And what cruel trap awaited her next in the courtroom? The courtroom was tense. Amaka's palms were sweaty as she stared at David, her son, who refused to meet her eyes. Weeks of secret visits, harsh words, and Ifeoma's whispers had hardened him. Barrister Kule leaned close. "Focus on the law, not your emotions," he whispered. But every glance at David shredded her heart. Auntie Chioma sat across the room, regal and composed, as if watching a drama she had scripted herself. Behind her, Ifeoma's polite smile gleamed with triumph. The judge cleared his throat. "This case is difficult. The court must consider both the biological connection and the child's emotional welfare." David's voice rang out, sharp and unyielding. "I don't want her. I've never known her. She abandoned me." Amaka's chest ached. "I didn't abandon you. I was told you were gone, but I never stopped loving you." Chioma leaned forward. "Your Honor, the child's welfare is secure under my care. Stability, education, a home. This sudden appearance of a woman he doesn't know will traumatize him." The judge nodded gravely. "DNA evidence confirms the mother's claim. Supervised visitation is reasonable." Amaka felt a flicker of hope. Finally, a chance. Her first supervised visit was arranged in a private room. David sat stiffly, arms crossed, eyes cold. "David," she said softly, "I am your mother. My name is Amaka." He glared. "I don't care. Leave me alone." Amaka forced a smile. "I know you're angry. I have every right to be, but I need you to understand. I never wanted to lose you. I've thought about you every day of my life." He sneered. "You're just a stranger pretending to care." Tears welled in her eyes. "It's the truth." Suddenly, an alarm blared. Smoke crept into the room. Panic erupted. David was rushed out without her. Her chance, her first real chance to reach him, vanished. Will she ever break through his anger? Or would fate keep them apart forever? And who was behind the fire that stole her moment? Weeks passed, and Amaka's supervised visits became her lifeline and her heartbreak. Each time she approached David, his anger built higher walls between them. "You don't belong here," he spat one afternoon, shoving her hand away. "I have a mother. She is the only one that matters." Amaka sank into the chair, her heart bleeding. "No, I am your mother, David, always," she whispered, voice breaking. But even as she fought to reach him, betrayal struck closer than ever. Ifeoma, the friend who promised loyalty, now subtly poisoned David's mind with Chioma's lies. Every smile Amaka gave, every word of love was twisted in the boy's ears. And the court dates only made it worse. Chioma's lawyers showed every picture, every moment, painting Amaka as dangerous, unstable, and unworthy. Finally, the day came when the court made its decision. Amaka would have legal recognition as David's mother, but Chioma retained custody. Supervised visits would continue, yet David's home, his education, and his life would remain under Chioma's control. Amaka approached the gate, where David stood, ready for another visit. She held a small bouquet of flowers, her hands trembling. "David," she whispered, offering them. He looked at the flowers, then at her, eyes filled with confusion and anger. Slowly, he shook his head. "No, I don't want you." Amaka felt the weight of a mother's worst nightmare settle over her. 10 years of hope, of struggle, of love, and still her child rejected her. She turned away as rain began to fall, as if the heavens wept alongside her. Would David ever see the truth? Could love pierce a heart so full of hatred and lies? And if she tried again, what new betrayals awaited her? The rain-soaked streets mirrored Amaka's despair, but she refused to give up. Each supervised visit became a battle. Her love against David's anger, her patience against Chioma's control, and her hope against Ifeoma's betrayal. "You are not my mother," David shouted one afternoon, slamming the chair back. "Go away." Amaka's heart ached, but she stayed calm. "I know it's hard to believe, but I am your mother. I have never stopped loving you, David." David's eyes hardened. "I don't want to hear it. You abandoned me." Even the simplest gestures, flowers, soft words, attempts at connection were twisted by Chioma and Ifeoma. The boy had been taught to fear and hate her. Amaka knew the court had recognized her as his mother, but legality didn't reach his heart. She had a title, yes, but not a bond. Late one night, she sat alone, planning her next move. She thought of David smiling in that photo, unaware of who she really was, and of all the walls built between them. She had fought storms, betrayal, and lies, but nothing had prepared her for the hardest battle: reaching a son who refused to see her as anything but a stranger. Could she break through his hatred before time ran out? Could truth ever undo 10 years of lies? And what would happen if Chioma or Ifeoma discovered her secret plan to get closer to David? Amaka's heart ached as she approached the gate for another supervised visit. David stood there, arms crossed, eyes cold, yet something in him flickered. A shadow of curiosity. "David," she whispered, holding out her hand gently. "I am your mother. I've always loved you." He stepped back. "I don't want you. I have a mother." Tears streamed down Amaka's face, but she didn't give up. "I know you've been told lies. I know it's hard, but I need you to know the truth. I never abandoned you." Chioma watched from a distance, eyes sharp, calculating. Ifeoma lingered nearby, silent, her expression unreadable. For the first time, David hesitated. His anger wavered, and he glanced at the bouquet in Amaka's hands, the small gesture of love he had never received before. Amaka whispered, "I fought for you, through lies, betrayal, and storms. All I want is to be your mother. Can you let me try?" David's face contorted with confusion, rage, and something else. Something like doubt. The rain began to fall harder, washing over them, soaking the streets, as if the heavens themselves held their breath. Would David ever open his heart to her? Could love pierce through a decade of hatred and lies? And when the truth finally reaches him, what choice will he make? Embrace the mother he lost, or cling to the life he's always known? The storm raged around them, but inside, the real battle had only just begun.